Hello, welcome to Organized Chaos. We are back to playing Roll for Shoes, and today I am playing with two co-op members. Maddie is joining us. Thanks, Maddie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And Emily is joining us again.
Hello.
I didn't completely scare her off after the last time, so I feel gratified.
Yeah, I mean, the poisoning, I had to take a nap after being poisoned and drunk, but it was fine.
I mean, the poisoner managed to poison themselves, and it was kind of embarrassing. And we'll be talking about it and resolving that at a future date. Yes, and today we are playing my favorite Roll for Shoes, and Maddie and Emily. I'm going to give you a scenario and ask you a question, and you're going to take a second to come up with a character. It can be as developed and fleshed out as you want it to be. You're going to tell me a name, some pronouns we're going to use, a general, describe the vibe to me, and then tell me why you fine young people are at a school dance, the sort of non-Valentine's Day dance, whatever the sort of winter formal might be. And you have both decided to take a step back from the revelry and the dancing and the shenanigans and tell me what sort of made you, what teenage heartbreak, what angst took you to need a moment from the merriment going on inside. To refresh anybody who might be watching, this is a game where we only roll contested D6s. Generally speaking, I, as the GM / the environment, will only be rolling the same amount of dice the players will, unless they try and do something truly spectacular, in which case there may be a penalty. Let me know when you're ready. I think Maddie's all locked in.
I think I'm ready. Okay. So I am a senior at the high school in question, and I didn't really want to be here, but my show choir partner needed a beard. So naturally I went with him. But now he is dancing with the boy he would rather be dancing with. And I also am just getting very sick of Cotton-eyed Joe.
Oof.
So I would like to drink something, and I am open to any option.
Driven to it by good old Cotton Eye Joe. I'm writing down under your character, driven to drink by Cotton Eye Joe.
Aren't we all?
And what's your character name?
Luna.
Luna. Love it. Luna, she, her.
She, they.
She, they.
Let's give her a she, they.
Nice to meet you, Luna. Emily, tell me all about your character.
Okay, so I am Ren. I'm a she-her. I'm a she-her. That's a really weird way to put that. Anyway. I am so I'm a teacher at the dance. But I'm like a really young and like I'm a hip cool teacher that's like only a couple of years out of college and has like, I'm cool, I'm hip with the kids, and maybe have some questionable ethics when it comes to taking on the teacher role as opposed to the the responsible side of things. I'm over in the corner because I've withdrawn because I am selling some pot to a student and also happen to have a flask covertly that I have been sharing with people if they seem like they need it. Also, I mean, Cotton Eye Joe, that's just like maddening in any universe, right? So, yeah, I have some questionable ethics, let's say, when it comes to substances and when it comes to my responsibilities around duty of care.
Well, at least you sound like you're magnanimous and a giver.
I am definitely a giver. I want these kids to have fun and experience things, and I'm also like quite good at putting on a very responsible face for the other staff and so on. So I don't think any of them suspect that I am a drug pipeline into the school at this stage.
That's effective cover at the very least. Good job.
Oh, what do you teach, just for my knowledge?
I'm a maths teacher.
You're a math teacher, okay.
Yeah, just because I don't want to, that's part of my cover. Normally it's the artsy teachers who are
yeah, absolutely.
the ones with the more questionable side of things.
Absolutely.
I feel like the math teachers come in two flavors. They're either super, super straight-laced or like they went to Berkeley in the 70s. It's pretty much like your two flavors.
I'm in the
of math teachers.
spirit of Berkeley in the 70s, not the actual.
If like the 70s was happening, 5 years ago, that is you in the modern era. Wonderful. Well, the two of you find each other. The dance was being held in the gym, which is kind of in the center of the sort of sprawling compound that is your big, ginormous, sprawling school. And there is a small area that has like a couple of maintenance closets and a little bit of storage, but is mostly like people use it as a shortcut to get to places, but there's nothing to really access here. It's a little bit darker. And Emily, is it Ren, R-E-N, or W-R-E-N? How do you spell Ren?
W-R-E-N.
Perfect. Ren, this is a great place for you to do some shady deals with the kids with whose health and safety you are entrusted. nobody can really see you. There's definitely no cameras back here. The teachers, pretty much, this is one of those places that teachers only go when they're really trying to bust someone, like if they have to fill that quota for that school to prison pipeline. This is where they would come.
Very dark.
Gaming, where nothing is beyond politics. So you turn around and you see Luna sitting kind of quietly, and the strains of Cotton Eye Joe kind of carry in on the door as it quietly closes. What do you do?
Luna, hello.
Hey.
What brings you over here?
Nothing in particular. Just, I was going to go to the water fountain, but I just don't trust the nondescript location's water source where we currently live. But the punch bowl was just completely empty, and so I wanted to actually get the keys to go to the show choir classroom to grab a water bottle. That's all. Just a water bottle.
This sounds not entirely plausible, but you can still hear the strains of Cotton Eye Joe coming in through the walls. In fact, it seems to be getting louder and unaccountably faster. Like, who in the world would? And then even high pitchier, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, that kind of like out that hurts, and it starts turning into like a zing kind of a sound. And then all of a sudden it's like the whole world is muted. Just whoom. Complete silence. The feeling of pressure, like when you go up in a plane and the pressure changes and you kind of have to pop your ears. But like if that sensation was entirely around you, and then it's like somebody snapped their fingers and you look around and the hall you're in is like way, way cleaner than this public school hall has ever been since it's like was built. It smells kind of neutral. Like old schools have a smell to them of all of the stinky students that have walked down those halls before them. Yeah, it just like something feels weird, and you can't hear Cotton Eye Joe anymore. In fact, you don't really hear much of anything. Interesting.
Wow, I did not think I was that high.
I'm sorry, come again?
What's just happened? Where are you?
I thought that I had passed out and I was forming a theory, but if you are experiencing this too, I am now deeply confused. Should we try to find a mirror? I think if you look in a mirror, you know whether or not you're dreaming.
All
I'm
of
just
a
gonna
sudden,
pinch Luna.
y'all start hearing cheers coming from the gym in front of you, and they sound distinctly like the cheers that would come along with a pep rally. All of a sudden the band starts up, which is really weird because last y'all knew in that auditorium was the winter formal dance, and the marching band was emphatically not invited to play at the winter formal dance.
Weird question, and I don't know that you know this because I feel like we're in the same boat here.
Uh-huh.
Are we dead?
Sorry, you think that the afterlife is like a random hallway and this weird, like...
Well, more so, I think hell is a pep rally. But...
I mean, do you think you deserve to go? Anyway, that's an esoteric question. Do you
I
think you deserve
mean,
to help? Like,
And to
uh,
underscore
I
your
do.
point, Luna, all of a sudden, your football team comes like pumped up down the hallway from the lockers, which are like right next door.
oh no.
And they're all outfitted in full gear. They've got their cleats on. Like, they look like they're about to walk out onto that field. Shockingly, they're like the cleanest football players you've ever seen, but they are pumped up and ready to go. And they start coming towards you, you know, doing that thing that dudes do, and they jostle off of each other. Some of them are trying to like climb up the walls with varying degrees of success. And one of them kind of comes hopping by you. They see you and they're like, yeah, yeah. And they open the doors and you get a look into the auditorium. And there is, in fact, a full-on pep rally going on with your cheerleaders doing like really impressive tumbling, great pyramids. They're getting great height on their throws and their basket catches. You've got one person in the mascot's outfit, like dancing around in the center. All of the principal and everybody who you recognize up on a little dais applauding as the football players get in. And each one of you gets yahed in the face by a football player who like is really, really certain that you are psyched to be here as much as they're psyched to play that team tonight.
I very much have to hold myself back from hitting in the face because that's so obnoxious.
Yeah, I thought football was over last weekend as a construct. Um, but hear me out. I feel like this high school, whether it's the one we're from or the one we're currently in, is probably pretty traditionalist. And I'm also willing to bet a little bit religious conservative flavored. So if we act like we're experiencing what we're experiencing right now, we will be some shade of religious persecuted. So I think we should go into the gym and act like things are normal and investigate what's going on. Oh my God, you're the adult here.
Like,
Are you inclined to go along with this?
I don't think I am. Like, I think my instinct is like just try and work out what the hell's going on and like how to try and get back. And I don't think the answer is necessarily gonna like. I think the pep rally is like tangential to whatever dimension popping we've just done.
Then both of you give me a d6 roll. Maddie to basically Luna to basically convince you, and Ren to resist that compulsion.
I rolled a 2.
3.
So y'all are left sort of standing on the threshold of this gym where you can hear the pep rally going. To add a little bit more context, this is the like nicest organized pep rally you've ever seen. It actually has decorations. Like somebody went out and spent some money on decorations.
Do we recognize anyone here?
Oh yeah, you recognize everybody. Every single person who is in there definitely was at the dance.
Okay.
They're all dressed though like sort of prototypical teens or in their cheerleading outfits, and like now that you kind of stop and think about it, your cheerleading team is not that good. They're just really not. Like, you watched somebody almost break their neck in a basket catch a couple weeks ago, and they were told to kind of tone it down a little bit, maybe. They're doing full on like Netflix documentary style gymnastics over here.
Oh no, are we in a Ryan Murphy universe? Okay.
I don't know what Ryan Murphy is.
Okay, Ryan Murphy is the showrunner of the television programs Nip Tuck, Glee, American Horror Story,
Okay.
etc. And it's kind of like if
I'm enjoying this explanation immensely.
Yeah, I'm trying to describe the aesthetic of Ryan Murphy is like
Glib.
Golgoth was too cheap, but it's the same mood disorder. Would be my description of the Ryan Murphy aesthetic.
Yeah, he's very glib. He is very camp, but in a really, really
Like a
just morally
highbrow.
bankrupt way.
Yeah, but he thinks he's highbrow and capital Q queer
Yes.
when he's really like lowercase g gay.
Yeah, he is definitely
that
thinks that
track.
he's defining culture, and some people
Yeah.
hate him.
Yeah, and his queer media is just like a lot of like
It's very bad.
brunette cis gay men with abs.
It's not great.
Okay. All right, so I think we should try and find our way out of the building
Okay.
and see if that gives us any more information about what the hell just happened.
Okay, I'm not splitting up. I'm 17 and I know everything. And one of the everythings I know as a 17-year-old is that you don't split up when shit gets bad.
Why, Miss Wren, Senior Luna, why are you out here? You're missing the pep rally. And all of a sudden, like, almost gliding up to you, you did not hear any steps approach. You were not given any warning. A teacher is standing in front of you in the most perfectly cut power pantsuit that you've ever seen on a teacher, with perfectly coiffed blonde hair, with that precise, I'm not wearing makeup, but in a way that means that I spent a lot of time to achieve this look, no makeup look, holding a clipboard, and is just looking at you expectantly and gestures at the auditorium.
Oh, absolutely. Ms. Stevenson was just leading me to the classroom where I was going to round up the show choir because we are performing Josh Groban's You Raise Me Up at this pep rally because that is what teenagers want.
Oh, and she looks down at her schedule. Ah, I see here. After we thank the PTO, I see. Yes. Were you not here for rehearsal? I do not recall you being here for rehearsal. And, oh dear, where's your teacher sponsor, ma'am?
Well, you see, it is the district-wide jazz festival, and our professor is actually with the smaller jazz ensemble, you know, since we're underfunded in the arts and we couldn't have multiple adult chaperones. And so I was elected as the student leader, which means I'm very popular within and without the show choir community. And so actually, Ren is standing in as the non-minor in charge. Isn't that right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
And you literally see the does not compute go by. Give me a roll for spouting some bullshit.
I rolled a 6.
I also rolled a 6.
I also rolled a 6.
Really?
Oh, wait, am I rolling or not?
You can absolutely roll to, well, we'll find out, because, wow, I don't think this has ever happened in history. So here's what's going to happen. Luna, tell me what you wanted to accomplish here and what new power you have at level 2.
I wanted to accomplish the kind of high school shenanigan that only an overachiever can pull through the art of nuanced bullshittery.
So do you want nuanced bullshittery too to be your...
That is what yes, absolutely.
Right. So whenever you can use nuanced bullshittery to help you out in a situation, you can roll 2 dice.
All right.
All right. Ren, what is your whole goal here, and what is your new skill that you've got?
The skill is going to be, I think, just straight-faced bluffing.
All right. Straight-faced bluffing 2. And so you basically are combining your forces to make sure that the Stepford teacher in front of you, who doesn't really buy your bullshit but also can find no flaws with your logic, there's really nothing to push back with. Ren, you just give the like wonderful dead face stare of like the highly stoned but also like highly busted. And so your last defense is just hiding behind the okay whatever of the truly stoned. And you see the do not compute, and it's almost like a reset. And she goes, "Why, Miss Red, Senior Luna, you're out here missing the pep rally. You should go in." And gestures you forward into the auditorium.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, we were just making our way in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I just had a really bad poop. And I'm so sorry to be mentioning that. And it just became a situation, and it's now not. And we will be in just a minute, but you go on ahead because I know how busy you are, ma'am.
Right. Give me a nuanced bullshittery 2 roll to try and convince this as of yet unnamed authoritarian figure.
I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Oh, that's a good roll. Oh, so the other aspect of this is when you fail a roll, you get an experience point that you can then use to change one of your dice to a 6 in order to get a new skill.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't failed a roll yet, I don't think. Yeah, you succeeded on your roll over Rin, I believe.
Yes.
So Rin has a point of experience, but Luna does not. So yeah, you can turn those in. So if this would be a great place to spend 1 XP if you had it to turn that dice into 6 and get a 3. So this authoritarian figure is rolling no bullshit too, because she matched y'all for last time. Rolled a 5 and a 1. So they give you, she gives you a puzzle like, but you have to come to the pep rally. And checks a third of the way through already. It's unheard of. It's just, and she turns and she starts shuffling forward. It's just unheard of. And the doors slam shut behind her. They're not locked or anything, but like that was not a human doing that, for sure.
What the hell?
Okay, so quick sidebar. You're the adult here, and I feel like if I start instigating violence, it will look like I am troubled. But if you say it's okay, it looks like I am Katniss Everdeen. So am I troubled or am I Katniss Everdeen here? You have to make this call, Ren.
And you all hear, "Woo, yeah, go team, go," coming from the auditorium, but perfectly in time with your speech.
Sorry, I'm confused. What do you want me to do?
I feel like we might need to escalate how we are behaving toward Ms. Blonde master's degree pantsuit.
And all of a sudden you hear echoing down the hallway, same place that your football team came, the like of a bunch of cleats, and all of a sudden, the women's soccer team comes jogging around the corner, hyping each other up, giving each other high fives, going, state, 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 state. And when they walk by you, both of the auditorium doors open, and they come by you, and they just like, your hands, like, you kind of stick them out, and they start giving you high fives and low fives, and like running into the pep rally for them.
All right, so I want to use the cover of this soccer team going past to like slip past teacher McPerfectface. And
Okay.
I think it seems like whatever's going on is centered on that auditorium. So let's mosey on in under the cover of the soccer team.
I'm down. Yeah, let's go on.
All right, so you'll follow the soccer team in, and as soon as you step over the threshold, bam, the doors slam closed behind you, and you're looking around, and you're like, the fuck is this? Because your auditorium looks beautiful. Like, you've never seen it look this spick and span before. It gleams, the colors are rich and vibrant and perfectly balanced against one another. All of the students look like they're like super excited to be here. On one side, the football team's giving each other high fives and like smacking their heads together. Sort of in the middle, the women's soccer team is, you know, doing their little like wave, we're cool, we're the superior sport kind of a deal. It's kind of weird though, like occasionally a little confetti streamer down around you. And when you look down, Ren, you are wearing the god-awful, ugly, mustard yellow jumpsuit that all of the faculty was given for Christmas by really super, super grateful and yet highly underfunded school system. It is scratchy and itchy, but it is tailored to an inch of its life on you. Like, you have never had a cheap polyester tracksuit fit this well. Luna, you look like an emo kid from the 90s.
So wait, clarification. Do we mean like grunge early 90s, or do we mean like early aughts, like Midwest emo?
We mean what the movies and the TV shows assumed was grunge for the 90s.
Great.
So
I'm
like
in.
a weird
Awesome.
smooshing of both of those things.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
You're also like absolutely pulling it off in a way that like should not work,
Yeah.
but you are 100% making that shit work.
Brilliant. Okay. Everyone in show choir would crucify me if I showed up looking like this, but I do not hate it. However, I am a little concerned. Are we in a universe where our school has funding or where they don't? You went to teacher school, Ren. Is matching outfits high money or low money?
I mean, with the amount of itching that's going on right now, I'd say it's low money.
I apologize. Yeah, the hot topic is just a lot of heavy cotton on me, so I cannot relate.
Rin and Luna, you are suddenly kind of shoved apart as a bunch of balls in a bag are shoved between you. And the very beleaguered looking manager for the team shoves by. And he looks like, you know, chiseled jaw, Captain America, corn-fed Midwest boy. Kind of shoves through you, and he looks down at you, Luna, and he goes, Moonbase. And then as he's shoving through, takes his second ball bag so that it smacks across you and kind of shoves you away. And he clearly wants nothing to do with you. And just before he's to the point where he's flouncing off, he turns around and looks at you, and he goes, "Not even you can stop the soccer team from winning state." And then spins back dramatically and walks over to the soccer team.
Okay, so I want to like check out what's going on in the rest of the environment. So there's like stands full of people, and they're all dressed up for what I assume is a pep rally style. Like they're all dressed up and cheering still.
Yep, cheering as little pieces of confetti fall down from the ceiling.
Are there any like points of interest aside from the two teams?
The most of what you would assume are like the principal, vice principal type people in the school are on a dais in the center, talking up currently the girls' soccer team, which you surmise is going to state. The thing being soccer and football don't play in the same seasons. That's not a thing. So you're very confused. Also, you don't do pep rallies for the soccer team. You do pep rallies for football only, and then occasionally, if your basketball team is good, you do it for them.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a very weird universe where our school is very invested in girls soccer if we're also a school that's very invested in our football team.
So they are going to state.
They're going to state. I mean, I don't know. I'm one of 3 of this large high school's known lesbians. I don't know why they would target me as someone who'd be against the women's soccer team. I just... What I want to know is if these things are actually happening at the same time, or if we are seeing them overlap in a way where we are convinced it is the same time. And I want to go on the ground as a student and see if I can ask other students what they perceive to be going on.
Well,
because they're more likely to listen to me than the math teacher. No offense, Ren. No offense. We're on first name basis now, right, Ren? Okay.
You hear someone
say, until we work out what's going on, yeah, that's fine.
You hear someone behind you say, "Miss Luna, we do not speak to teachers with such disrespect." Mrs. Wren, I understand that you have your own way of speaking and connecting with the students, and that you've gotten very good vibes, and inserting herself in between you is scary clipboard lady who seems to be wanting to very much distance the two of you from each other. And she tells Mrs. Wren, which she insists on calling you, "Mrs. Wren, really, you must put your foot down, otherwise they might think you are one of them. Luna, Mrs. Wren and I are going to hold down the fort here, and you need to go sit with your homeroom class, okay? It would be bad for everybody if you just, didn't graduate because of insubordination."
I am going to try to roll for nuanced bullshittery here.
Okay.
I'm just going to see if it works on this principal. My mother works in the district and is well aware that there has been numerous occasions of malfeasance occurring within the financials for our school's arts department. You'll notice they are not fully represented in this moment, and I would hate to make a case for your new BMW being connected to any sort of, I don't know, misappropriated funds. And as I mentioned before, I was feeling ill and would rather not be alone. And Ms. Stevenson Mrs. Wren, if you will, is not currently my instructor, and I am 18 years old. So I think we can split the difference here, and you can go be the administrator on site, and we can follow you into this elective school procedure that is not a course. How does that sound? Should I be rolling too?
You should absolutely be rolling 2.
I rolled 2 5s.
I rolled a 3 and a 5. So once again, you get to see the school administrator tick over into does not compute. And she smiles blankly at you. Her eyes kind of slide away. And then she glides forward down the baseline of the interior of the gym. So she just seems to like blankly be walking along the perimeter and leaves you both alone.
Wow, that was great cover.
Thank you.
So, should we? What are the so the like administrative staff are in the center and they're like speaking.
They're giving like stupid little pep rally, like, and they're introducing the team members going through the women's soccer team. Like, here's our goalkeeper. She has X numbers of saves and all of the silly things. It's very, there's not anything of substance. Very random, not helpful things. And when they're not, you just notice that they're mechanically kind of clapping and looking around like this.
Okay, I think we should like try and find a place in the stand and just see what happens.
Absolutely. Okay. Real talk, Ren. I'm not saying that I sometimes participate in recreational marijuana, but if I did, how stoned are you right now?
I don't know what you're talking about. I would never participate in something like that, especially around my students.
Let's try this again. I'm from Reno, Nevada, and I know a stoned person when I see one. Are we at the place where we're forgetting our coworkers' names yet?
All of a sudden around you, it feels like somebody turned the lights up. Just like you didn't realize the lights were on a dimmer. You also didn't realize that the lights could go brighter than they already were. But it's like the world around you literally gets to a brighter place. It's like you can hear sort of birds chirping and then like a heart playing. And Rin, behind you, you hear just a deep, gravelly voice say, "Oh, there you are." And when you turn around, the most like on a trashy romance novel book cover model of a masculine person is standing behind you with that like deep, dark scruff, those like eyes that should not be that color. Like that's an illegal color. How rude. The perfect teeth. Like how did you get that perfect teeth on this deserted island that I supposedly rolled up and found you on? Is the only man. And he is smiling directly at you, and it's like somebody put just the most beautiful ring light is following him around, and like, oh wait, his hair is actually kind of like moving in a breeze. How strange. But like, wow, very pretty. And just eyes only for you. Except for when he sort of flicks them to you, Luna. And like, no one can deny that this is just an aesthetically pleasing human individual, but like, He seems to kind of acknowledge you and then go right back to Ren.
Ren.
Yeah.
Hi, Ren.
Ren,
Hi.
I'm gonna need you to
know.
make a roll to have your attention taken away from the specimen of a person in front of you.
Okay.
Should I be rolling too?
You can roll to distract.
I got a 6.
You got a 6?
Yeah, I'll roll to distract.
I
got
rolled
a 3.
So, Ren, it is entirely up to you how this interaction plays out and what skill you want to get from it. And you can ask for any clarifying information that you feel you need in order to get that. It's not like I'll hide anything from you.
Okay. All right. So this person is wearing a shirt, right?
I mean, for all that is plastered to the contours of his like very muscular body, sure, he's wearing a shirt.
All right. I just wanted to check, and like we're still in the auditorium.
Yes.
Okay. Jeez, it's a lot of pressure. Okay, so
He's only got eyes for you.
I'm gonna act really offended and go, "What the hell are you doing here?"
His handsome features turn to just extremely handsome confusion. And he goes, I'm keeping the Wildcats in line during this pep rally, and honestly, was really hoping I would get to see you here.
Why?
He gives a nervous glance to Luna, like he doesn't think that maybe you should be having the conversation in front of a student. Like, oh, well.
I can try to give some nuanced bullshit so that I can stay in the space.
Sure, nuance bullshit away.
Okay, so should I roll first or just bullshit first?
You can roll first to see.
Okay.
I got a 5
I rolled
and
a 5
3.
and a 6.
Okay, I got a 5 and a 3. So
Okay.
you were just rolling very well. If you would like to go through the bullshit, please regale us. I'm here for the bullshit.
Okay, so very heteronormatively attractive man. Hi. I know it looks like I am a young teenager. I use a lot of moisturizer, and I am in fact here on assignment, like the movie Never Been Kissed, starring Drew Barrymore. Do you know the film Never Been Kissed, starring Drew Barrymore?
He looks at you and he goes, I think I've heard of it, Luna.
Okay. Great. Good. So it turns out I am not a minor. I am an adult. I work for Gothamist because they wanted to know how Midwest high schools are in this time, in this year, which is...
Well, I mean, if you're gonna believe this pep rally, it's the year the women's soccer team's gonna win state, and the football team's gonna win homecoming. I'm really excited.
Yes, and in the world at large, in the Christian calendar, would be called the year of, say it with me,
Archer High. It's the year Archer High is gonna just absolutely dominate. Like, I've been hearing things about the women's field hockey team. That's just like, oh, we're gonna have a great season. We're gonna have such a good season. I think we could honestly go to nationals. So,
Yes.
just waiting for their chance. Just waiting in the wings.
Yes, I am just a journalist.
Well, then you wanna talk to Rin here about the work she's doing with the volleyball team. Like it's
Yep, that's why we were together, and because I look like what an emo teen would not be palling around with a math teacher.
Yeah, well, Luna, you didn't have to break up with the captain of the soccer team right before state. Like, you really didn't. But, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be taking out my frustrations on a student. But, Ren, thank you so much for, really stepping up and not giving up on any of the students that we have here. It's really your grace and your open heart, and you're so inspiring to a lot of people. The way you really you never give up on anybody. You're always willing to go the extra mile for your students, even the ones who most of the rest of us think, are probably beyond hope. But you just, and he gets a little bit choked up, and I'm gonna, I think the mascot is due for a costume change, but I would really like to continue this conversation later. Maybe maybe off campus we can talk about the volleyball team.
I'm pretty sure the last time we spoke, I said I didn't want us doing that. What happened with that?
Just like the comment that sent off the lady with the clipboard. He gets kind of a blank look on his face and kind of smiles, and you see like a little bit of a jitter, and then he looks and he goes, we'll definitely talk about it, Red. And then he swans off towards the mascot, who looks like he probably fell mid-flip and has been struggling on the ground, and nobody has helped him up.
Luna, you didn't tell me that you dated the captain of the soccer team.
Yeah, I was not public about that information. I am out, and I like girls, but she's not, even though she's on the soccer team. I think she was just less out about dating someone in the show choir, honestly. But the fact that the coach knew, this is really weird.
How dare you? Comes from behind you. And when you turn and look, there are 3 cheerleaders standing behind you. One with the captain's armband in the center, looking at you like this. And then 2 others to either side, striking a pose. And all of them are glaring at you.
Hi. How dare I what?
No, thank you. And her 2 minions kind of like do cheerleading moves until they're each flanking you, and you feel like very hunted. And Rin, they're kind of like working around you in a way that doesn't bring you into the action, but like very clearly knows that you're there, but also is not really acknowledging your presence. It is a very strange way of ignoring you by just working around you.
Okay, I want to intervene by stepping in front of Luna and confronting the captain, and saying, "Hey, look, whatever problem that you 2 have, this is not the time or the place for it, and violence is not the answer. So I don't want to see anything happen, and I think you should go back to your duties."
Are you doing any version of straight-faced bluffing? Or is this just you stepping in and making yourself...
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then give me a roll. Against the
Oh my god, it's a
cheerleaders.
2.
The cheerleaders get a 5. And they look you up and down, like, as soon as you step in front, all of them zero in on you. It's like you weren't there, and then all of a sudden you were there and in their line of sight, and they're looking you up and down, and they listen to you say this. And then, Luna, from your perspective, you see the back of Rin, and then the cheerleader just looks around her and goes, "Oh, so you're brave enough to take a bribe to make sure the women's soccer team loses? But now you have to have teachers fight your fights. We see how it is. We understand. We are stronger than you, aren't we? We shall overcome." And then all of a sudden, the whole of the cheerleading team pops up behind them, and they start doing a coordinated cheerleading dance about overcoming the other team, the obstacle. It's like weirdly specific to this conversation you've had, but also like just a very generic cheer that you've never seen anybody do ever before.
Okay, so we are in neoliberal hell. I've never done this before, but I think we got to cut off the Hydra at the head, and I kind of want to punch the head cheerleader in the face.
Give me a roll. Absolutely give me a roll to punch the head cheerleader in the face.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a 1. So please tell me how this goes down.
Okay.
And what your new skill is. I'm so excited.
So I think this is obviously, the skill is teen movie climax.
Absolutely.
And how this goes down is as the other cheerleaders are performing their routine, obviously the head cheerleader is center stage, front and center, and what she is going to be doing is centering herself because she choreographed as well. And look, I am in show choir, which is the gay man's cheerleading. And so I know that she's going to find a way to give herself a solo. And so when she starts leading in call and response, when it's a response time and she is performing the act of listening, she is cheated to a side, and I just go and get her going the other way.
She turns right into your punch. Like,
yep.
It's one of those moments where you are so excited. You're so, like, you feel it building. You know that the perfect moment is about to come. And you connect. You feel it. It feels good. Like, you feel it in your soul. You're like, man, I just shaved, like, 3 months of therapy off my lifetime therapy. Like,
yeah, some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this.
Beautiful.
As Kelly Clarkson once said.
Her body arcs gorgeously, like right off, back on the heels. It's doing that perfect, like this movement off the stage, and you're watching, and then all of a sudden, your ex comes out of nowhere and catches the cheerleader. And they look into each other's eyes. And you swear there are fucking sparkles. And, like, how dare they? What? And your ex gallantly places the head cheerleader onto her sneakered feet. Just like, and you remember, like, oh, she's tall. She's got those nice, like, muscles. Oh, yeah. And the cheerleader looks up at her and just grins, and then looks at you. And just smiles back at her rescuer. She got a nice bruise forming, though.
Okay.
So this was definitely more about the show choir than it was about being out.
Yeah, Ren, it certainly was. I got that. And thanks, and I'm sorry. And in opposite order, because this seems like I am in a nightmare, and you're just along for the ride. And like, no offense taken if you want to go find Fabio or whatever, Ren, because it seems like you might get a happy ending.
Give me a
No,
roll.
I-
Luna, give me a roll. Tell
I
me
rolled a
this one.
4.
A 5. So that whole rumble was broadcast to the entire pep rally. There was dead silence. It was so stunning and so silent. Like, nobody thought to take out a phone or anything. Everyone is just staring at you like, oh, this is... I mean, I didn't realize we were at home. Yikes. So,
This is bleak. Ah, whew.
I mean, just to clarify, like, my high school drama is my idea of a nightmare anyway, so, like, just we're on the same page when it comes to being in a nightmarish situation.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're not that much older than me, right? Like, what? You're like 24? I'm 17. That's like the same age.
basically, like, practically.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's less than 10 years is like fine.
It's totally kosher. There's nothing wrong with that.
We're basically peers. I'm going to be able to vote soon.
And then you just
I'm
hear-
gonna stick the cheerleaders on you if you're not careful.
Oh, I was calling you young. I don't know why that's offensive.
I'm a college graduate, thank you very much.
Oh, okay. I take AP classes.
I have a mortgage.
Really? As a public school teacher?
Yes.
Congrats. That's awesome. No, my mom works in schools and like finances.
and then just like Glen Coco leans in and just goes, a mortgage? We're bragging about that now? And then leans back out of your conversation.
I mean, to be fair, if this is a modern day high school, I am in Generation Z. Although my clothing does not accurately reflect that, and a mortgage
you
is not a
definitely
thing.
have massive 90s vibes going on here.
Okay, so I am an older millennial, so mortgage is not a thing I'll ever see.
Nope.
So
Never in a million years.
good on you.
And Luna, you're interrupted by just the voice that has haunted your dreams lately says, Luna, just stop. And you're looking directly into the wide doe eyes of your paramour, your ex-paramour. And she's looking up at you, and she just looks so disappointed.
Okay, fine.
Punch her in the
What
face
do
too.
You what?
you punch her in the face?
No, you should punch her in the face too.
I should punch her in the face too.
For breaking your heart.
I wish I had the self-esteem. I'm actually going to ask her what she wants from me.
Do you want to roll teen movie climax?
Yeah, teen movie climax.
To ask this
So-
question. All right,
So
roll
roll
2.
1, 2. Okay. 2. I rolled a 2 and a 3.
I got a 6 and a 4.
Okay.
So you don't get your climactic moment. What you get is like it looks almost like you're drawn together like two magnets. And then she pulls back and she frowns at you and you can see anger starting to creep in and she says, I wish we could go back to what we had before. But, I'm going to win state. Like, I'm going to do that. And I wish you really just supported and understood that, and you understood why it was so important to me and why it's worth it. And she looks at you, just like with those mournful puppy dog eyes, and she shakes her head, and she turns around, and she kind of does the sad sack walk out the front of the auditorium to complete and utter silence as everyone watches the captain of the soccer team, who is bound and determined to win state, walks out the front of the auditorium, the door closing behind her.
Can I try to roll for another teen movie climax and run after her?
You can absolutely do that.
Okay, I rolled a 3 and a 3.
Ooh, we tied.
Should I roll again?
Nope, we're gonna tie and play it as a tie. But that does give you.
I really need to go pee, so I'm gonna go do that.
Okay.
Okay.
You do have 3 points, 3 XP right now because you failed 3
so I
rolls.
need to.
So next time you can change a die roll to 6s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to grab a drink or something, take a quick little break. Got some sparkling water.
I think I'm out of wine, so I'm.
Oh, how tragic.
Truly. I just want to know where your brain was.
My brain?
In all of this. Yeah.
Oh, hold on, you're frozen on my end. Your image is frozen on my end. Oh no, I think we've lost Maddie. Maddie, can you hear me? No, there we go. Can you hear me? You're muted.
What just happened?
There you go. You froze, and then you blinked out of the room and then back in. But we got you back.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Will. I am back. I was just saying, like, I was saying I wish we had the untucked of organized chaos. The behind the scenes.
Oh. Mostly like it's me going,
show.
Well, that's going to be interesting. I do have a couple of things this one, depending on what happens. And if we end up playing this whole time in this gym, or if you guys, y'all are trying to run after the captain of the football team. Luna, you go to do that, and you jump off the dais, and you very dramatically come down wrong, and you twist your ankle, and you're left, like, reaching after her, trying to, like, crawl out as people watch you debase yourself in true high school horror fashion. Ren, you see this person who you may or may not be thinking of as your protege, just making an absolute fool out of themselves. Just, like, from what you've been able to piece together, it seems like some unholy mess of a breakup that only teenagers can kind of get. Like, it seems that Luna maybe simultaneously broke the captain of the soccer team's heart, but also, like, maybe desperately wants her back, but also maybe doesn't support her soccer career. It seems to be a lot. What do you do?
Well, I guess the first thing any responsible adult should be doing is to check if Luna is okay from falling and possibly injuring themselves.
Roll to give some medical attention / maybe
Okay.
advice. We'll see how well that goes.
3.
I rolled a 5. So you do that. You kneel down, you cup her ankle, and it just hurts. Like nothing, you're kind of prodding at her ankle and nothing's really helping and you don't really know what you're doing. But you also seem to not really know what else to do for this like absolutely heartbroken teenager in front of you.
It's okay. It's okay. I performed the second half of Into the Woods in a community theater with a concussion. So here's what you're going to do, Ren. You're going to see if there's a Gatorade jug for the athletes, and you're going to see if there's a paper towel nearby, and you're going to put some ice in it. And I'm going to grit my teeth and pretend I'm okay, just like every show choir and emo kid has done before me.
The show will go on.
Show will go on.
Give me a roll for that. Give me a show must go on roll to see how your words inspire.
I rolled a 6 in the show must go on.
Rolled a 4. So this show does in fact go on. And is that what your new power is in?
Yes, the show must go on is my new power.
You are just a Glee character.
All right, so Gatorade, paper towel, ice, apply to ankle, and then are we gonna mosey on after the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend? What do you reckon? I can help you like try and follow.
Can you get her? I think we're equally as fucked if we separate as if we're together at this point. I think I need to sit for a minute, and can you bring her to me? Maybe you can bluff under some guise that she's in trouble and can't play at state because of her math grade or something, and bring her to me. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. So I'm gonna go out into the out of the auditorium and try and follow.
Great. Ren, give me a roll in the D6 and tell me what the number is.
Okay. 6.
Amazing. So you burst out the door, just like tearing after the captain of the soccer team. And it's almost like you thought that you were just going like a normal speed, but you get outside of the gym, and right in front of you is the big auditorium where all the plays and stuff are put on. And your feet just keep going, and you end up stumbling across the threshold into the auditorium. And again, all of the doors just like shut behind you. And Luna, all of a sudden the world jerks around you, and you find yourself in an auditorium seat at the very back of the auditorium with your foot up, like on the seat in front of you, looking around as Miss Wren bursts into the auditorium, and there's clearly a rehearsal of some kind going on in front of you. Like, what? There's a rehearsal? Everyone stops and turns around, and they're looking at you, Miss Wren. You just burst in through the door, and everyone's, yeah? What's up? Got any good goss? These are theater kids. They want all of your gossip. They want to know exactly what's got you so frantic.
Hi, everybody. I just need to take Luna aside for a moment and chat about something from class.
And all of a sudden, the girl who you recognize as the former head cheerleader stands up and goes, "No, if she can't audition, she can't have the part. We don't play favorites here." And she goes, "Ah," and then flounces off into the wings.
Can I roll for a show must go on moment and
Absolutely.
give a very quick audition? Am I rolling one or two dice?
Rolling 2 dice for that.
Rolling two. Okay. I rolled a 2 and a 4.
I rolled a 6 and a 5.
Ah.
So you are inspired by like your full background of show choiry and the success that you found and how you feel when you're on stage. And also like Miss Rim may be the only teacher who's ever taken an interest in you. And that interest may be like really lowercase I in the interest and kind of thrown together by crazy random happenstance. But she's there, and like she's seen you go through some stuff. She's seen you embarrass yourself in front of the entire school in an unprecedented manner, and so you stand up to try and defend her and like prove your chops. And the second that you put any amount of weight on your ankle, it just collapses, and you go down and and you just disappear between the seats, and everybody's kind of like. Okay. Sure. And then it resumes.
Where am I on the actual ground or have I gone into a portal back into the gym? I'm a little confused.
No. You just fell between the seats. Like your
your
ankle
okay.
rolled again, and you're just now wedged between the seats. Like maybe I should take 2 seconds to figure out what my life is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Miss Wren, do you have any thoughts on just the absolute sheer amount of teenagerness that just happened in front of you?
Wait, what happened? What happened to the head cheerleader?
She now appears to be over here at rehearsal / auditions.
But it's not a cheerleader.
She's not dressed as a cheerleader.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just like trying to.
You also can't hear any of the auditorium chants or anything going on anymore.
Okay. What are they trying to perform? What are they auditioning for?
We're so glad you asked. And then all of a sudden, one person starts doing some scales. The other person comes in and starts talking about how high school's hard and high school's tough. But they all have their cliques and groups and stuff. And each of the character people there seems to represent like a particular archetype or group within the school. That like, yeah, those are the people that hang out together, but they're not like so cleanly delineated as this weirdly choreographed song that everyone seems to know. Real catchy too, and like A+ would hear it on Disney Plus and sing it nonstop. Definitely an earworm and a bop. But, like, it's nothing you've ever heard of. In fact, it seems to have more relevance to like the general goings on of right now, of how everyone's here to prove themselves and everybody wants the part. In fact, the hook of this song is the part. I'm gonna get the part. I'm gonna be. And they stop and they look at you proudly. Everyone's like panting a little and they are all in their tableau, including the older gentleman who you have to presume was probably the director. The only person who didn't really get up and dance was the guy who was on the piano. And like, but also, since when did your school have a dedicated piano guy? What is this?
I'm on the literal
Obviously,
floor.
I have to start applauding, don't I?
Yes, you are literally on the floor, hidden from view, thinking about everything that's gone wrong in your teenage life to date. Miss Wren, I don't know if they warned you about any of this in your training.
They definitely didn't. So I'm going to go for a straight face bluff and start applauding, congratulate everyone, and then sort of like try and fade into the background as things resume.
Okay. Give me a roll.
Alright, 2 dice.
Yep.
6 and a 2.
I got a 5 and a 2. So you managed to do that. You kind of were like, oh, that was great. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And you kind of like slink off to the side and you see everyone like, yeah, that was great. We nailed that. Amazing. Before they slowly drift away back into what they were doing, which is like some people were doing scales, some people were doing little stretches, some people are furiously reading the little flimsy book. And you kind of try and ghost into the side, and the director is standing there looking at you. And like, you would have sworn the director was just sitting at the front of house? Okay. Weird. But now he's leaning against a wall looking at you, and he goes, so I still see you're taking the problem kid around. How's that going for you?
First of all, it's very inconsiderate of you to refer to Luna as a problem kid. That's exactly the sort of attitude that is going to perpetuate these sorts of like ongoing bullying behaviors and inequalities in a high school environment. So shame on you.
I forgot how new you were, he says, and then just walks away from you.
Wow.
And he goes and he sits down, but he doesn't really seem to be doing much. Like, he opens his notebook and he starts scribbling notes, but there's nothing really to take notes about. And as you watch, if you watch long enough, you realize that this whole group of people is basically on like a loop of looking busy.
Okay. Is there anything notable about like the environment aside, like obviously they're in a loop, but is there anything that stands out as a point of interest maybe?
You can definitely hear scenes being built in the wings, in the shops behind the stage. In fact, as you're looking at the stage, an incredibly handsome, dare you say model-esque man walks across in some really nice pair of jeans. He's got a tool belt slung low on them hips. All of his tools look like they've been used, not just like they were bought shiny and new for no real reason. And he is manfully pounding at a flat at the back of the stage. What do you do?
I'm also still on the floor.
You, to this point, have not gotten up off the floor. You seem to
Still
be,
on the
like,
floor.
enjoying your floor space, and I was just gonna let you have that until you were ready to leave the floor.
Yeah. I think
Well, I was thinking I would come and like try and help you out, and we can like go into the wings.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've been on the
Hey,
floor
hey,
for a while now. I as long as we go kind of slow, and like you're within grabbing distance in case I go down again. Yeah, let's go into the wings. Let's see if maybe we can mess with like something backstage to turn off the loop.
I also want to, like, while we're walking into the wings, I want to talk to handsome McStupidface and try and see if there's like something that Luna can use as a crutch.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
So give me a roll to basically help Luna gimp walk to the back of the back of the stage.
Should I roll as well?
If you want to. I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 3.
So now you're just dead weight.
Yeah, I'm
You're
dead weight.
just you and you're crushed under the weight of your teenage despair and embarrassment to be
Yep.
much help. What is Ren's newest power?
Uh, lifting things.
So you have a lifting things too. Amazing. I cannot wait to see how this plays out in and of itself. So you have a lifting things too, and you managed to successfully and kind of heroically, if we're going to be honest here, lift Luna out of her literal dumps. Um, and you all kind of start moving to the wings. The stage is sort of that boxy proscenium that has like a small thrust in the front and 2 steps that go straight up. And if you keep going, you'll be in the wings. If you go to the right, you'll be on stage. So you go up the left side of them, and you kind of start sneaking down. And you're kind of looking through, trying to figure out when would be a good time to ambush Dreamy McStupid Face. And as you're kind of glancing out, you come back and he's just standing right in front of you with a big grin on his face, just like crinkly eyes. The sun is shining out of his smile. It's really unfair. It's really unfair. And he looks again directly at Ren as if no one else in the universe exists and goes, "Hey, are you helping with auditions today? I'm set billed into jail."
Jail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this for Thoroughly Modern Millie?
Well,
No. Oh, it's Bad High School Musical. I this is all very confusing. What is this show?
He looks at you. He looks at you and he goes, "Well, you know, there's a future guaranteed for all of us who just can't learn to fit in with everyone else and play by the rules." And then he looks back at Ren and he says, "If you don't have any plans, I'd love to use my comp ticket on you for opening night."
All right, I'm just gonna straight face bluff that and go, "Yep, sure, that's gonna happen."
Okay, give me a straight face bluff check. 5 and a 3.
4 and a 1.
You got what?
A 4 and a 1.
So, yes, that's a 5 versus an 8. So he absolutely thinks you're coming, but now he also absolutely thinks that you have just accepted a date. He, in your yes shoring, you managed to agree that he could pick you up, that he could take you out to dinner and explain some of the behind the scenes goings on of this play. He promises you there is a really funny story he's going to tell you about 2 of the leads who were dating, but like maybe the other one was cheating with someone else. And he's really excited. He's really looking forward to this. He cannot wait. In fact, he kind of blushes a little bit as he kind of Twitter-patedly shuffles away from you because he doesn't quite want to stop talking to you. He would really like to just like, yeah, okay. I mean, can't wait. Like, really, really can't wait. Can't wait. Can't. Like,
Did
I'm
he
so...
do anything to help Luna or not?
Oh, no, he basically ignores her completely unless he is forced to interact with her.
Ren, may I speak as an almost peer and not as a student? I'm going to teach you something that my single mother taught me. And this is coarse language, but you went to Berkeley. So You have to use your slut powers for good. And that's not a judgment call on you. Uh, he has tools and things we can use, and he likes you. So pull down the shirt, push up the charm, and let's get what we need. Shall we?
Charm is an interesting euphemism for cleavage, for sure.
So what do you hike them up and like go charm the maybe pants?
Am I still in that mustard, like, thing that we got thrown into?
You actually are not. You are still wearing, you're basically wearing a version of the clothes that you started out with, but they're way more teacher appropriate than you ever, like your wardrobe is really not teacherly. You're still working on that aspect. You're still dressing kind of like you're in college. Working on it real hard. But they, like, you can definitely see the echoes of the clothes you had on at the beginning, but they're more conservative, less interesting than you would ever put on your body.
Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to try and hike up my skirt a little bit and unbutton a couple of buttons. And we're going to go and talk to Dreamy McStupidface again.
Yeah.
Dreamy McStupidface is nailing together a jail cell bench. He is definitely surrounded by the detritus that, now that he's pointed out, you can absolutely tell this is going to be some kind of jail scene, except you're not sure if it's like an old-timey saloon type jail scene, or if this is like a postmodern dystopic jail. It weirdly seems like it might be some strange kind of both.
Okay. So, hey, guy.
So as you say that, it's almost like everything goes slow motion, and you watch the rise of the hammer, and you can see every detailed muscle as it bulges in his arm as he brings it down, and your attention is just tunnel vision right to him striking that nail on its head, and he drives it into the wood once and then twice. And he turns around just as like a small bead of sweat drips off from his brow, and he wipes it away, and he looks at you, and the smile that comes over his face when he sees you is just so unfair. Like, he does not know you well enough to smile at you like that. How dare he?
Hey, so Luna here is injured, and I was hoping we could get something to help them walk, perhaps like a crutch of some kind. Do you have anything we could get to do that?
Injured? And immediately his eyes get misty and teary, and he goes, "Oh no, is she gonna make it?" And all of a sudden everyone around you gasps. And then Luna, you're suddenly surrounded by everyone on the stage in the theater, and they're all looking at you like you might just expire with your next breath, including and especially the artist formerly known as the head cheerleader, who's weeping practically over your body about how long you've been going to school together, and how she doesn't know what school is without your presence, and how will they ever go forward.
Yes, I am going for some nuanced bullshittery.
Mm-hmm. You are.
Am I rolling 2 or 3 dice in that?
You roll 2 for nuanced bullshittery.
So I'm gonna roll first. I rolled a 5 and a 2.
I rolled a 6 and a 2.
Oh, because I was gonna just convince them I was dying to see how much they could do for me. But
well, you basically say, "Oh, yeah, that's me.
yep,
I'm real dying."
I'm trying to. I know I have to be strong, and your support means everything, and I don't need a lot. But what I do need is a walking stick and just somewhere where I can meet up with the captain of the soccer team. That's all.
And you hear, she just goes, "It's so beautiful. It's the agony." And all of a sudden, they burst into song about your inevitable oncoming agonizing death. And how it's unfair that one such as you, so young with such promise and such future ahead of her, is cut down unfairly. It's the senior year of our lives. It only comes once, though for some of us twice. And they're going on and dancing around you. And they're dancing around you, and like,
I want to join in and start leading the musical side of things.
give me a straight-face bluffing roll to try and take over this choreographed dance.
I was thinking I would try for a new thing.
Well, so if you get, you have enough to change this roll, so you can build on straight-face bluffing and get 3, or you can roll 1 and try and brute force it. Either way, it's your choice.
So I can get a new skill if I use straight-faced bluffing.
Yeah, so straight-face bluffing means that you just justify it with the power. You roll 2. If you get 2 6s, which you can use your experience points to force the dice to be 6s, not for success purposes, but if you want a skill based on bluffing, your straight-face bluffing, you would spend 2 experience point, or if you roll a 6 and something else, 1 experience point to get 2 6s, and then you would have whatever that next step is 3. So then you would be able to roll 3 dice.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go with that. So 2 dice.
Yes.
5 and a 1.
I rolled 2 1s. So you managed to infiltrate the dance. Do you want to use 2 of your experience points to change those dice to 6? You have 3.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, what do you want at level 3? That is kind of a subset spin-off from straight-face bluffing.
I want to call it take the lead. So like in a situation, particularly a dramatic kind of situation, I can just like step in and just like be
How
the
about step
center.
in and take the lead?
Yeah.
All right, so you have step in and take the lead. 3. So whenever you can justify that, you just roll 3 dice now. But for Luna, you specifically asked for a walking stick, and what was the other thing that you asked for?
And for somewhere I can meet up with the captain of the
yes.
soccer team.
So, because you failed, you don't actually get the walking stick. You get dropped by one of those sword boffers that you use for stage combat. It's like a stick with like a pool noodle over it.
Yeah.
So you're given that instead of a walker. And when Rin, you kind of start stepping into the dance, it's not super complicated. It's just more the fact that everyone's executing it flawlessly in real world situation. But you realize that if you kind of stop thinking about it and you just go with the flow, your body will do the dance. And once you're in the flow of the dance, you can start kind of resisting what your body naturally wants to do. And everyone else will eventually kind of follow you as long as it's not a massive change. So you can slowly change the whole dance, but you have to like, instead of going up, you go down instead, and everyone will follow you the next time. And so you managed to do this. What effect did you want to achieve?
Well, I wanted to get get Luna the walking stick or whatever, which we've done, and then I want to like sort of draw attention away from uh, away from Luna, and try and leave them to work things out with the captain.
So interestingly, what happens is the song, instead of being about the inevitable agony of Luna's death, it is now about that, but also it is inspiring all of the people around you to like carpe diem. Live life to its fullest now. You never know when an agonizing death is on the horizon, just waiting for you. And so all of the students and the people in this area start spontaneously confessing all the things that they've been keeping in and hidden to themselves. There's currently, like, in song, 3 people having a fight because someone's best friend just admitted to being in love with their best friend who is dating someone else, and like, whew, this looks like it's gonna be messy, but like, write that down for the future. Yeah, everyone's sort of spilling their respective secrets as y'all are kind of being moved across the stage. You're almost being passed from couple to couple, so you get an update on each person's sort of admission of what's going on. One guy is kind of mournfully sitting in the corner, and you just hear him, and he's like, why is the only thing I can think of hamburgers? And he looks very haunted by this revelation. And y'all kind of like, it's almost as if you get kind of swept up into a frenzy, and all of a sudden you see the side door to the right side of the stage opens with nobody around it, and you're almost compelled through it. And it slams shut behind you. You have that same kind of overwhelming ringing sensation. And Luna, give me a roll and tell me what the number is.
I rolled a 6.
Y'all stumble directly outside. Like it spits you. If further down to the left would be the entrance to the main school. If you went to the right, you would be in the auditorium. If you went straight, you would have been in the gym where your pep rallies / ages and ages ago, the dance was happening. And here you managed to stumble into the outdoor eating area where all the kids, like, it's still contained within the school. Like, it's within the school, but you can definitely see freedom straight through the windows. And behind you is the cafeteria. So you're in this, like, if you think of the school as it makes like a square around you, like somebody punched the hole down into the middle. So you're standing outside in this kind of area. There's a bunch of picnic tables around. There's some nice trees. It's just a nice little, like, quad type area. And then all of a sudden, out from the cafeteria, you hear, "Bombs away!" And all of a sudden, you look down and you see 2 people in those, those ginormous steel pans that they do, like, massive cooking in. You see 2 students sitting in them, and the other students have taken all of the tables inside the cafeteria and basically made a giant luge that ends up right outside into the outdoors, and they both go right down it. They're two idiots sitting in these 2 luges, and now there are 2 luges filled with teenagers coming straight at you. No brakes. They're definitely about to hit cement and keep going. What do you do?
I'm gonna lift Luna and try and get the hell out of Dodge.
Okay, give me a roll to lift Luna. Luna, if you have anything that would help Rin do this. Yes, you have lifting things too.
I feel like the show must go on is going to be applied to the show being my life. And I think that means I get to roll 1.
No, you get to roll 2.
Oh, I get to
Show
roll
must
2.
go on 2.
I rolled a 4 and a 4.
I got a 6 and a 4.
Wow, I have 2 2s. Yeah, so you survive. Congratulations. You do not get bowled over by these 2 individuals. Luna, you get kind of swept up into Ren's arms, and she manages just boop, just like this. And like you've never been able to do this before, but you are just in hero's pose as these 2 guys just split the difference between you. And they're still going, woo, as you turn around and you see the exit to outside / the building. Both of them just open, and these guys continue with their momentum just completely out of the school. And then the doors close. No big deal. Those luges are still set up. When you look around, you realize, like, this feels less like the chill, calm eating place that you're used to. And it's like, it distinctly feels more like a skate park. Ren, after the threat has passed, you kind of bring Luna back down. I don't know if you put her down because of how vaguely threatened you feel by this area. But she is in your arms currently.
And I've still got a stage combat sword on my person.
You do. You have the bopper with you.
I think we should try and move off to investigate leaving school grounds.
So you want to go behind you. There's doors. There's 5 exits. There's the doors right behind you, which basically lead to a hallway and then straight out. Like, if you kept going, there's just a small hallway and you're out the front of the school. If you go to the left, there's a doorway exit that goes further into the school. Same with the right. Back behind you is the cafeteria, which is the main exit, but there is also one classroom next to the left of the cafeteria that has a door attached to their classroom for whatever reason. Which
classroom?
exit? You want to take the classroom door?
Yeah, I think we go that way.
Okay. Luna, are you on board with that plan?
Yeah.
Cool. So you start hobbling with Miss Ren's help across the way. You do have to go all the way to the other edge. And as you're crossing, you suddenly hear, "Bombs away!" And then all of a sudden, there seems to be a bunch of things, like splashes of water around you. There's just something raining down upon you and bursting, and it does not smell great. And you haven't been hit yet. What is your response?
I think I want to duck and cover under a cafeteria table and let Ren take the lead.
So you go full teenager on us, and you're like,
full teen.
Not my responsibility here.
No, I'm ducking and covering.
Ren?
Can I threaten whoever's throwing things at us with a detention?
With attention?
Oh, detention.
Oh, detention. Yeah, you absolutely can. I mean, you can threaten them with attention as well, if you can justify that. But yes, you can definitely threaten them with detention. I don't know if this qualifies as straight-faced bluffing, but if you can justify it, I will let you roll 2.
I mean, clearly we're in a situation where detention is, like, really not applicable. So I have to make it seem like a tangible threat to whoever is, like, it seems pretty to fall pretty squarely into that to me.
So I think given your character, this is probably the first time you've ever even, like, you're that teacher who's like, I'll never have to give detention. Like, I'll be friends with my students, and, you know, we'll operate. Ember. My cat just pulled my headphone out. So yeah, we'll say that this is straight-faced bluffing because this is like you putting on your authoritarian teacher persona and just being very like, All right.
Yeah. So
Roll
of those.
2.
6 and a 1.
Wow, I got a 1 and a 2. So you start threatening them with detention, and they're counting. They're like, "Oh, you really made Miss Wren mad." Like, and then all of a sudden, there's one more that arcs in front of you, and you realize they're water balloons, and it just does a beautiful, perfect splash right in front of you. It smells like the bog of eternal stench, but like it didn't hit you. And you hear them laughing, and then all of a sudden, go, 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 and you see like these. If you look up, it's a 2-story building. And if you look up at the kind of breezeway, you see clearly 3 teenagers, like, doing what they think is a stealthy run down the breezeway, laughing like they're idiots, and then they just bang through the door, and they're gone. And, like, man, teenagers.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden you hear, yeah! And if you look up, there's a bunch of teenagers standing on the roof where they're definitely not supposed to be, which is like half a story even further up in the breezeway. And they are very clearly about to do the raw egg in a briefcase experiment, but on a human being.
Oh no!
On a baby.
On a human being. Definitely not on a baby. On another teenager.
Ooh, it went dark.
That dark. That is a different game. We're not playing that dark. No, this is another shithead teenager. Like, whatever. There are a dime a dozen at this school. But you can definitely see them. And one of them is, like, speaking into their phone, like, this is going to be the greatest. You know that it works on an eggs, but does it work on your body? Let's find out. Do you try and stop it? Do you just stop and watch? Do you continue on to where you're going? What is the collective response to this?
Are you still hiding under a table?
Oh, fully. Oh yeah. I still am under the impression that there had been urine in the water balloons, and like I am a show choir kid. I would not be spared. I'm still sheltering in place.
Those are instincts born of many years.
I think I have to try and intervene in order to, like, keep my my cover. Like, you know, if I was around and other teachers found out that I was, you know, not trying to intervene in the situation, then.
So would we justify that with step in and take the lead?
I think we can do that. Yeah.
All right, try and step in and take the leads with these strapping young teenagers who are very deeply dumb. Wow.
5 and a 1.
You get to roll 3. That's a
3.
level 3, so 3
Okay,
dice.
so 5, 1, and 6.
Nice. I rolled a 7 total, so you do get to do that. So how do you step in and take the lead? What do you say to these morons?
So I'm going to step in and take the lead by I think the first thing I have to do is, like, get them off the edge.
So do you want to say that you give them... Do you try and undermine them? Like, that's not the way to do it, actually? Or do you just try and, like, straight bulldoze over them, be like, no, Timmy, Tom, and Chad, down now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and straight bulldoze over them.
Okay, so you're gonna go full, like, authority of your teacher.
Yeah.
To step in and take the lead. All right. You yell at them, and they look down, and they get that frozen, just that, like, T-Rex. They can't, if I don't move, they can't see me. And they're clearly looking at each other like, who's the leader now that a teacher's here? Do you give them any instruction other than just stop what they're doing?
I want them to come down from the roof, and I want them to give me. You said that they were doing it in a briefcase.
Yeah, they managed to have this, like, really oversized briefcase piece of luggage, I guess, at that size, that you could definitely fold your average sized teenager into, filled with padding.
Just like an away bag and like a short kid.
Like, it's not something that you would really just expect to be around. You don't think that they had to go out and special purchase this, I guess? Because who would just have this, like, weird cross between a piece of luggage and, like, a full-on chest?
Well, I'm going to confiscate it.
You're going to confiscate the giant
Piece of luggage, yeah.
piece of luggage. Great. So you yell at them. They kind of reluctantly come down. They're all just like, yes, ma'am. We thought it would be funny. You're like, death is not funny. Well, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes they sing a song about it, which like you can really relate to.
That's inspiring, though. That's about inspiring people to live. That's not about inviting death upon your.
No, it's no day but today.
Right. And as you're sort of explaining this, you hear some steps come up behind you, and then it's like, oh, hey, Tim, Tom, oh, Miss Wren, and guess who it is? Smiling at you with that stupid, charming smile. And he's holding something in his hands, and he looks at you, and he goes, what's going on here?
What's he holding?
Do you ask him?
Sure, yeah.
And he goes, oh, and he hands out, and there are a bunch of Bic lighters, the kind that has the minus sign and the plus sign, so you can get a higher flame or not. And he goes, yeah, like, Miguel and his crew in there, they've been prepping for a while, and they want to see how spectacular their farts are when you light them on fire. So, I was sent to get these. Pretty handy. How'd the experiment go? Does a person squish like an egg when you toss them off in the briefcase?
God, I can't believe I agreed with the date.
And Tim's like, no, they won't let us do it. And he looks at you, Luna, and you see him, and he goes, figures. And he looks at you, Wren, and he goes, oh, well, Miss Wren has the best ideas, so, if she thinks you should do something else, that's, she's never led me wrong. Cool. I'm gonna go see if Miguel needs, and his crew need help lighting their farts on fire. Can't wait to see.
Hey, can I have one of those?
Oh, yeah. Yes. And he hands you one, and he goes, like, can I have your number?
You already got my number. You've already, anyway. Okay, I want to straight.
Oh, really? And he reaches into his bag, his pants, and he pulls out a pager, and he starts looking through it. And he goes, oh, you this one?
Yeah, definitely. Whatever it is.
Great. I was really wondering, but yeah, I'm excited. Like, I'm really excited. You want to go I mean, this is just merely me spitballing, but like, some friends and I are gonna go get into some grocery carts, and we're kind of gonna go to the top of the hill and ride them down to the bottom of the hill if, you know, you're not busy. Do you like to, like, maybe experience a thrill or two with me? Just, you know,
Maybe later.
think about it and page me. And he sort of
Yeah.
slowly backs away and gives you a wave with the Bic lighters and heads off into the cafeteria where you hear a giant crash.
Question really quick. Can I roll to see if I could have successfully stolen any lighters while that conversation was happening?
Please, by all means, do that.
I'll just roll one.
Yes. A 5.
I rolled a 4.
You sort of reached for pockets and stuff, and you just got like a very casual, like, swatting away, almost as if like you were a gnat or something. But he didn't seem to really. He didn't really seem to get that you were like trying to steal from him. He was just very disconnected from the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Very focused on this run.
Okay. So we just heard a crash.
You just heard a crash coming in, like a massive crash coming in from the cafeteria where he just disappeared into.
Okay.
And Luna, do you break cover? Are you still cowering? Has this whole thing made you stand up and sort of join the group?
I think once he leaves, I want to come back too, because Ren, I have a very important question to ask. And it is, we can either investigate the crash, or we can just try to light the school on fire and run. Which would you prefer?
Look, the fire approach is beginning more and more appealing. The question,
I'm right there with you.
Luna, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear somebody yell, "Psych!" And when you turn around, somebody thrusts a box into your arms and then runs off towards one of the other exits, going, "Peace out, bitches!" Ah! And then just, like, exit stage left. And you are left holding just a regular brown square 12x12 mailer box.
What's in the box? Can I open the box?
Yeah, give me a roll to open it.
oh no.
I rolled a 5.
Oh, I rolled a 1. So you open the box. You open it, and all of a sudden a bunch of glitter pops out right in your face and goes pew!
Oh, no.
All over you.
No.
It is a glitter cannon. In fact, it rotates to get maximum glitter spread all over you. And you look down and you're just like covered, just absolutely covered in glitter. In fact, Miss Wren, please give me a roll to see if you also managed to get doused in glitter. Do you have anything that would be like glitter you know better?
No, and I got a 2.
So just give me that singular roll to avoid the glitter. The house gets 2. The house rolled in a 5.
I got 2.
So you do not avoid the glitter. You, in fact, like your whole side, like basically you have a Winter Soldier arm, but it's just glitter. And you're both like, oh, what just happened? And Luna, you have to blink a little bit to get the glitter out of your eyes so that you can actually like focus and see again. And when you look down into the box, you see a what had clearly been the remnants of someone's shrine to you and your ex. Like, someone really shipped it a lot and is now, like, devastated that you've broken up.
I'm still back in the belief that we are in a Ryan Murphy universe. You cannot tell me otherwise.
And, like, you can surmise that this glitter bomb is the result of somebody who is like really, really unhappy with your reason for breaking up, or just the fact that you're broken up in general. You don't actually know if they know your reasons, but they're not pleased with you.
I think I want to roll for a teen movie climax moment and deliver a monologue and hope that whoever needs to hear it hears it. Should I roll first?
You absolutely should.
Am I rolling 1 or 2?
2.
On this one. 2.
Teen movie climax is a 2.
All right, I rolled 2 3s, so I have 6 total.
So the house rolled a 9, 6 and a 3.
Oh,
so
man.
you give your climax speech. Give it to us. Give it to us.
Okay. Look, Ren, I'm really sorry because I know that all of this is my fault. I just wanted to be seen. And I just wanted to feel like, you know, they say high school is the best time of our lives. And I wanted to have the time of my life. I'm 17. Where will the time go? And I knew that state was coming up. And I knew that how could a secret soccer team lesbian love a not so secret show choir lesbian? It's just, I mean, we're evolved past the gay thing, but the show choir thing is too much. And when she said we had to hide it, I said, if we hide it, I'm leaving. And really, I realized I should have asked her to the dance. And there's violins swelling underneath the speech.
Absolutely. And as you hit that like strident teen angst note, you hear someone go, "It was partly my fault." Oh. And when you turn and look in their like most genius jean get up, we're talking like a jean shirt and a very light wash jeans, torn at the knee, the Ked sneakers, just like so jean, just so aggressively jean, is standing the former head cheerleader, who is also the person who is auditioning, who is now standing there looking at you, holding 2 pies and a goat. And she says, "I convinced her to hide you away because I didn't think she needed the distraction before state. And I thought you were a distraction. So I lied. But now that you've broken her heart and ruined our chances at state, and now that you're dying, and now that you're here, I just can't let my part in this stand unstated because she really does still love you." And then the goat lurches forward and she kind of flails and you both get nailed in the face with pies.
Yes. Can I roll for another teen climactic moment?
You absolutely can.
Okay. I rolled a 6 and a 5.
I rolled 2 2s.
All right. With the pie on my face and tears in my eyes, I will simply just say, I forgive you.
And the music swells and you hear a like staccato sound. And when you look over, presumably everyone who was in the cafeteria doing like real stupid shit is standing around with you like, "Aw," and instead of clapping, they've all lit those sparklers that go and just like casually toss them in front of them, so they actually like end up falling a little bit backwards, and all of a sudden there's just like pandemonium and everybody has to, you know, it's like dance civilians at their feet. You embrace the former head cheerleader slash audition person slash pie in the face girl. And she doesn't seem to mind that you're getting pie all over her face and her clothes. But she does just kind of look at you and go, oh, this would be perfect. And then just puts a little cherry right on top of your head and goes, boop, go get your captain. And then,
well, covered in glitter and covered in pie.
Yes.
Pie.
You are drenched in glitter, covered in pie, with a cherry on top of your head. You are in peak high school form to go get your girl.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a sword as a cane.
You do. You have a boffin.
A boffin as a cane. Can I show must go on my hobble to freedom?
Absolutely. You can.
I'm rolling 2, right?
Show must go on. Yes, show must go on 2.
I rolled a 1 and a 4.
I rolled a 6 and a 1. So you've had this moment and you try and hobble off, and it's just like one of the most pathetic things we've ever seen. It's like complete crickets. Everybody is watching you like, yeah, she does know that's not a crutch, and she can't like use it like one. And just let it go.
I want to try and intervene and save you from the teen embarrassment by
so
lifting.
kind.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can try and intervene. Do you want to step in and take the lead?
I was thinking I would just like lift Luna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Give me a lifting things too.
3 and a 4.
A 1 and a 2. So if you would notice, you are now completely covered in black. You almost look like a ninja. The only thing, you can't even see your face. There's like a piece of flimsy like tulle over where your eyes would be, because you are now acting like one of those Japanese stage hands. And you now just exist to kind of lift Luna, support her gracefully to the exit in a way that garners you the least amount of tension. So yes, that is the tableau that you make as you end up at the door to the classroom next to the cafeteria. The people with the sparklers have started just straight up firing fireworks at each other. It's cool. You don't see Gritty McFace guy anywhere. So what do? You are standing in front of this door. You have the cafeteria to your right. Insanity is happening now in the courtyard as fireworks are going off everyone, and it is actually getting a little bit dangerous for you. You hear them crack, snackle, and pop in your ears, in your face. It's very bright.
Do we want to try and track down what's her face? Your ex. Win her back.
Yeah.
All right. Is she in the classroom, or
I think, isn't she in the gym? Because is it still an ongoing pep rally?
Not that you know of, but maybe. Who knows? Not you.
Great.
cool? I mean, that's the best guess we've got, I guess.
So you just want to go through the classroom? All right.
Yeah.
Give me a roll real quick to see of what you recognize, if you pick up anything.
Okay. Oh god, it's a 1.
Should I roll 2?
Just 1.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, so you look at this door, and it looks like the door that you recognize seeing here. You know that it should lead to the art room, to Mr. Vandenberg's office. He is the art teacher. And you notice that right at the top, where usually it says his room number, which is 102, instead of that, there is a weird symbol. You can't quite make out what it is. It's kind of curved, but then part of it is straight. and it kind of curves back around into two sections. One of the sections is longer than the other, and you kind of catch a glimpse as you cross through the threshold. And again, you get that sensation of like falling or big wind around you, but you're encased in a bubble and sound seems different. And when you close the door behind you, it was pretty sunny outside when you left, and this feels like the sun coming through the windows is much more yellow and muted. And when you look around, you feel very like claustrophobic a little bit. It's pretty blue in here, pretty like sedate, kind of feeling oppressive a little bit. And you look around the art room, which is, a pretty standard art room. There's various pieces in various stages of being developed. And then you notice that somebody's spilt like a whole lot of paint on the floor. There's one canvas set up in the center of the room, but somebody has just dumped a massive amount of paint on the floor. It's like a deep, deep russet color. What do you do?
Is the paint wet?
Do you want to go and touch it?
I'll touch it.
Okay, give me a roll.
Oh, 3.
Oh boy. Yes, the paint is red. It is wet. It is red. You're looking at your hand. It is sticky.
Well, I'm already covered in pie and glitter.
And you have one red hand now.
No, one red hand. If this is an art classroom, is there a sink?
There's a very big sink in the back of the art classroom.
May I use the sink to clean off everything off of me?
You can certainly try. Give me a roll for that. If you can justify any of your powers.
Roll to shower in the back of the art classroom.
I rolled a 6, and I'm gonna say that it's a show must go on, because there are showers in some Broadway theaters, and if they shower in what's probably not much bigger than an art classroom sink, then I can say the show must go on.
In that case, you get to roll 2.
Okay, then I'm going to roll an additional die, and I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 4 and a 3, so you do succeed. And if you want to spend one of your, you roll a 6, so you only have to spend 1 point to build on the show must go on.
I'll build on the show must go on.
All right. What do you think is a good skill for you to have?
I'm just gonna on show must go on. I want to say give them the old razzle dazzle.
Love it. So you have given the old razzle dazzle 3. Beautiful. So tell us what transformation happens in this sink in this art room that makes you ready to face down and give the old razzle dazzle to whoever's you cross.
So absolutely, somehow, in my brain at least, the underscoring is Natalie Imbruglia's cover of the song Torn. And there is water, there is reflections in the metal sink. Do I wind up for no real reason like washing my hair in the sink so everything is kind of like very drippy, very melodramatic, but also I'm young, so my skin is good. And like I've had my angsty moment and I've washed away the past, and now I emerge a changed adult, and now I'm on the other side of it.
You basically give yourself the makeover.
Yeah, it's my makeover, exactly, my makeover montage.
And you come out and like your hair weirdly is just beautifully curled, like just the most beautiful waves. You still glisten with a thin coat of glitter because, like, let's be real, it's not going away anytime soon.
Absolutely
but now
not.
It's enough to accentuate your just like natural beauty. It's just so gorgeous. Dewy, fresh faced, and you're now ready to go and find your ex and make amends and figure out what's going on here.
Yes.
Miss Rin, you kind of watch this, and like nothing she does should actually mean that the results that she experiences happens. Like, what? But they do. So this is the world we're living in right now. Any thoughts?
I'm impressed, obviously.
That's some good skills right here.
Yeah, I think that, we just try and go get your girl.
All right. So there, other than going back the way you came, there is just one exit in front of you that goes out,
Right.
presumably into the hallways.
Also, just for the fun of it, I want to see if this paint on the floor is like flammable on the way out, so I can just.
So you're just gonna slide through the paint?
No. I'm going to avoid the paint.
We're gonna light it
avoid
and
it.
run.
Yeah, light it and run.
We're lighting and run. Okay, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna
Yeah,
try and light the
let's
paint
do
on
it.
fire. Give me a roll.
All right. I got a 6.
Yay!
All right, tell me how this goes down.
So we're just at the door. I'm gonna like crank up the big lighter to as much as as high as it goes. I'm gonna give it a flick and toss it at the paint, and it spirals dramatically through the air.
Yep.
And the whole thing starts going up, and we turn around because we don't look at explosions and keep going.
Exactly. What is your new skill called?
Pyromania.
Pyromania 2. You love to see it. What you do miss in your dramatic turn and walk away / limping quickly away from the situation is that the paint actually lights itself in a spiral pattern. Very strange. It does just look like a blob of paint. There's no reason that it should have done that, but that's how it decides to light itself on fire. And you burst through the door with confidence into a like weirdly dark and kind of misty hallway. You look around, there's nobody around. In spite of all the lights being on, it still really seems like we are struggling for some solid light content on this hall. Why are there so many shadows? Why are there so many shadows the farther away from me things are? Are some of those shadows moving? Maybe. And you all of a sudden hear, like, from far away something like what you would describe as a growl, but you feel it more than you hear it. And it sets every single predator instinct. Like, something is coming to eat me. Just straight down your spine. Where do you go? You are like smack dab basically in the middle of the hall. If you go to the right, you would walk by the entrance to the cafeteria. If you go to the left, you'd be going sort of deeper into the school.
Deeper into the school is where we want to go, isn't it?
Presumably.
Yes.
The auditorium is kind of like directly on the other side of the school, so your options would be to go back through the
room we just
courtyard. So you're
right.
you're on the exact opposite side from the gym / auditorium, if that's where you want to go. You sort of cut through the whole school. Most of the classrooms and stuff are like they make the periphery of this square that the school encompasses. So go right or left, towards the cafeteria or away. Or back the way you came. Those are pretty much your 3 options.
Well, the cafeteria was getting very strange.
It was.
Do we know for certain that there is a physical being that is chasing us?
Nope. You
Okay,
just like
great.
very much feel that way. And then you hear footsteps. Except these footsteps are like a regular step, and then you hear like as if somebody put their claws down. Think like Jurassic Park with the little velociraptor that can click its claws down on the ground.
I think we go away from the cafeteria.
It is coming from the cafeteria area.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that works both ways then.
So you want to head away from the cafeteria?
What do you reckon, Luna? I think so.
Luna, you're good with the cafeteria?
I am injured and I am a child. I'm selectively believing I'm a child in this moment in my greatest fear. I'm just a girl. I know I said I was a peer with Ren earlier, and that was a lie. Full lie.
And Ren's like, I've been waiting for this moment since the beginning. Thank you for acknowledging that.
So let's go away from the cafeteria to like try and circle around to the auditorium.
So y'all start kind of hobbling down the way. It's still creepily dark. You never seem to gain more visibility. It's always kind of the same. And just as you're getting to the intersection of this next hallway yours, you hear a growl behind you. When you turn around and look, are werewolves real? Because it looks like werewolves are real. And there's like a really angry, hungry one staring at you from right in front of the cafeteria. And you take a moment to make eye contact with scary red-eyed werewolf, who looks at both of you and then drops down on his front paws and starts gunning towards you as fast as he possibly can. Survival choices? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try and lift it over my head.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
as it's coming down, I want to like lift it, and
Okay.
then like place it behind us, and then we have to fold.
You basically want to suplex it?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a lifting things 2 roll to try and suplex the rushing werewolf.
I lost a dice. Where did it go?
I rolled 2 2s.
Haha, 4 out of 5.
That's exactly what you do. So,
Where did it go?
if you lose a die.
No, I didn't. I found it. That one was actually 6, but I don't need it anyway.
So Miss Rin, you square up and you see this werewolf coming and you're like, let's go, come at me, bro. And he does. Describe to us how you lift this thing up, where you toss him, how you do it.
So obviously the werewolf's coming at us, and like it's taken a leap as its like final like I'm gonna get you kind of thing. And so I just sort of like duck down a little bit and catch it underneath. And it goes like, what the hell's going on? And is very confused.
For a
Because,
brief moment, though, you were in a perfect lift with this werewolf, whose body is just a perfect line as he's like extended out to try and grab you. But you've lifted before you start tilting back and just slam this werewolf down head first behind you. And like, Luna, no joke, that may be one of the coolest things you've literally ever seen anyone do. Like, I mean, wow, who knew Miss Red had it in her?
Yep. No, I never paid that much attention in math class.
it's all just momentum.
It's all physics. It's just all physics. You
Which is
two
a
could
lie.
learn.
Could I? I'm in show choir.
I mean,
All right.
it's a lift for you to tell your show choir buddies about. Like, y'all
That's true. That was
aspire
the
to
ultimate
that
lift. It was the ultimate partnering. Okay.
And
So,
once you're done,
We need
kind of.
to run now
Exactly.
because I assume it's gonna not be taken down for super long.
get
I
fucking-
think I think I need to roll give him the old razzle dazzle to see if my ankle is gonna not be the worst. So I'm rolling 3 on that,
Yep.
correct?
See if you can razzle dazzle your way.
I rolled a 6, and a 2.
Wow, I rolled a 6, a 4, and a 2. Would you like to use one of your XP to give yourself a level 4 skill?
Yes. Yeah.
So that would be, well, do you just need to burn 1, so you still have like 4. Okay, what is the next step of the razzle dazzle? What's level 4?
Does it a show time?
Showtime! Showtime 4. All right, how do you razzle dazzle this very embarrassed werewolf who's just probably pulled off the hardest physical feat of his life?
I'm definitely because this werewolf is now down after having been thrown.
Definitely stunned.
So there's definitely like a very artful kick in the ribs that I will deploy that will hopefully both move said werewolf out of the way, but also like perhaps impact a lung or other organ in a way that will give us more time to run.
So you and your show choir wisdom give a beautiful, beautiful grand jeté. And you happen to land like in perfect crunch position on the werewolf's ribs. So you hear it like, and then you pirouette very gracefully off, and the force of that as you like send yourself sailing down the hall to continue running away, that forcefully shoves the werewolf into the stairwell of like most of the exterior stairs are in the corner of this whole place. He goes into the stairwells and the door's shut right behind him as if to seal him off. And yeah, y'all should run and get the fuck out.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Y'all are hobbling down the hallway. You're making very good time when all of a sudden you hear behind you furious growls. There are at least 3 of them coming after you, pinwheeling off the walls. One of them, like, slides. You turn around and you just catch the slide into the wall, and then it looks up and sees you and goes, and then starts jumping off the wall from one to the other, kind of like a frog. Destroying the lockers. It's gunning for you. Rin
wants to Pyromania 2 to set a fire as an obstacle.
All right. Pyromania to us. A 4 and a 2.
4 and a 3.
So, yes, what barrier... You have whatever you need on hand. What barrier do you set up?
So I'm just basically trying to, like, pull a couple of chairs out of a classroom, like wooden chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up with more than one lighter, so I'm gonna, like, crack... I guess I'm just gonna, like, crack one open on the chairs and just, like, flick it.
Nice.
Yeah, you were smoking a bowl earlier. You have a lighter.
Oh, absolutely. And we got them off of
And
Smiling
off of
McFaceman. McDudier.
Yeah. So now there's a couple of burning chairs in the way, and we're gonna keep running.
Yeah, so you hear this werewolf kind of is coming at you and thinks that he's just going to hurtle over these 2 chairs like they're nothing. And you time it perfectly to flick your matches so that it goes up in a giant ball of lighter fluid right in this thing's face, and it goes and is on fire and very distracted and not trying to eat you. Unfortunately, the second one right behind it learns from the first one's mistake, leaps over the fire, and is coming straight for you when out of the classroom beside you steps on either side is a classroom. All of a sudden those doors open, and through one of them comes one of the field hockey players with her hooked field hockey stick, and bam, hooks him right in the neck. And from the other one comes a flying soccer ball straight to the werewolf's crotch. Just like, bam, nailed him right where it hurts. Even werewolves. Because he goes down, like, trying to cover himself up, but also hooked around the neck, and he's out. And standing in front of you is the captain of the field hockey team and the captain of the soccer team. And the captain of the soccer team looks at you, and you see the restrained emotion behind her athletic facade of competence. And she kind of nods to you. And she and the field hockey girl give each other like a very professional, like, that was good athleting that we just did. And she says, "Come on, the rest of us are this way." And starts leading you down the hall. And from both sides, the field hockey team follows like little ducklings their field hockey captain, and the rest of the soccer team follows behind. And like, you are distinctly aware that there is some animosity being thrown your way as y'all are ushered to the back of the building, back towards where the auditorium is. You do in fact make it back to the auditorium. And it does not look anything like you saw it when you started the shit show. It does not look like anything when you were last in this shit show. It is a just decimated place. There are people hovered around. They've closed the seating arrangement in the auditorium. There are people who are bleeding, people who've been scratched, people who have been bit. Everyone is armed with something. And this looks like something straight out of an apocalyptic werewolf movie. Find a place to sit, your ex tells you. Oh, Emily is having a quick mic issue.
Okay, so I'm sitting with the captain of the soccer team.
The captain of the soccer team's kind of hovering there, but she's just like, "We'll be safe here. We're protecting everyone. Like, you don't have to be here with me. Go on."
Can I roll to apologize to her?
Ooh, you can. Going against script. Absolutely you can. Do you have anything?
5.
So
I mean, I guess, you know, it's a climactic teen movie moment. So I get a second roll on that, right?
Yeah, you can roll 2 if you want to play this like it's... It also depends on how you want to play it. Do you want to play it like the climactic teen movie, or do you want to go very like from the heart, which wouldn't be necessarily climactic teen movie?
Yeah, you know what? I'd rather have a chill, a quiet moment, because I still think this is all my fault. I rolled a 5.
Let me see if I can resize your window real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because we lost Emily briefly. And it looks weird. That didn't help. There we go. Then I can quickly pop Emily back in here. So you want to go with the more sincere version? All right, then just give me the 1-to-1 roll. Just roll the 1 dice.
Okay. I just rolled a 6.
I rolled a 6 as well. That's actually really good, because the way that I play this is when you are trying to come to an agreement with one another, the closer that you roll to each other's number, the better it is. So, what do you say?
All I wanted was to be myself, and I thought that meant forcing you to be more open than you were ready to be. And I didn't realized that just because it was coming from a place of authenticity doesn't mean that it was the moral, right, just, and only way to be. And I could have respected your need to focus on something else. And I never expected for all of this to happen, but I feel like it's all my fault. And even though I didn't intend for it, it still happened. And it all seems to be pointing to this. So I'm sorry. And I hope you still can go to state.
Oh, wow, Luna, that's the moment when all of the werewolves decide to attack. They jump in through the very, very high windows up at the very top of this vaulted auditorium. They come in through every single doorway. And all of a sudden you have a fight of your lives on your hands. So, what weapon do y'all grab to fight off the ravening packs of werewolves?
So, are we still in that hallway?
No, you've made it to the auditorium. You got rescued by the captain of...
Yeah.
You got rescued by the captains. They came out. Luna just apologized very sincerely, rolled a 6 for... Well, you do have also a skill now. So what skill is your heartfelt confession?
Perspective.
Wow. Luna got perspective too. This was a well-rounded teenager coming out of this very weird situation she found herself in. So
Can I grab a steel hockey stick and light it on fire?
You absolutely can. So you have a hockey stick that's been lit on fire. Luna, what weapon are you going for?
I think I'm gonna use the stage combat sword, but turned the other way, so it's handle first, and like use it like a javelin.
You can also just take the protective foam
Oh, I can just take the protective foam
off of it, because then you just have like a really heavy wooden dowel that you can swing like a sword.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to call it giving the razzle dazzle, because if I am a 90s angsty teen, that means I also like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
And that means wooden instrument.
Absolutely true. So do you ask Ren to light it on fire for you?
Absolutely.
Amazing. So Ren, if you could please roll me a pyrotechnics to see. We'll just do a raw score of like how well these get lit on fire.
A 6 and a 3.
A 6 and a 3. Amazing. Do you want to build on your pyrotechnic abilities with that?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
All right. What level 3 skill do you want?
How do you improve on just lighting things on fire?
I mean, you can go pyrotechnics. You can go...
like full out explosives?
Yeah, anything... Well, explosives, then it would have to have an explosive repercussion in this. So, like, this would technically be a pyrotechnics on stage.
Yeah.
So you could do pyrotechnics and then build that into explosives. You could have precise fires, open flame 2 or open flame 3, flaming weapons 3. Flaming 3. You can just go flaming and then make it
broad, so broad. We love a broad skill.
I want to be very skilled at making things flammable. So like anything I want this skill to be like, if I direct my attention to it with this skill, it's going to be dramatically more effective than you would expect from an ordinary situation. Like, does that make sense?
So you can just be flammable, Flurry.
Yeah.
Because as long as you succeed at your role, you can do the thing. We're not too worried about actual real life rules here.
Okay.
So yes, you both have flaming weapons, and it immediately makes you kind of a rally point. In fact, Luna, when you step up to the fighting line, the first thing you do is swipe a werewolf that was threatening to bite your ex. And she kind of gives you a look and sees your flaming sword, and you see the like, hey. It's pretty nice. And you manage to have a conversation in between beating up the werewolves and fighting for your lives and trying to protect some of your other fellow students. You notice specifically your show choir team is given the razzle dazzle to a couple of werewolves over there. They're singing and dancing and pirouetting and basically keeping the werewolves completely off balance until one of them can come in and do exactly what you're doing with some of the heavier props. And they're basically dancing around the werewolf until they can braid them to death.
Yeah, I have an impulse, and it is to use my lit wooden dowel as a way to light other field hockey sticks on fire, because once I light someone, they can light someone else's. Can I start off that chain reaction?
You absolutely can. What can you use to help yourself do that? The show must go on.
I feel like
Showtime.
perspective. We can only light each other's from our own candle.
Yeah, but this is like a pretty Showtime moment.
That's fair. That's showtime.
Like, this is the showdown.
Yeah.
So you could roll
I
4.
like 3, 4. Oh, I'm doing that then. Yeah. I'm doing that. It's showtime. Okay. I rolled 13 total.
I rolled 3 6s and a 5.
Shit.
Incredible. So you try and do that, but it's not like quite taken because the field hockey is like a really cliquey group. Like they've been trying to define themselves here in the athletic landscape in the school. They get no respect. Like people are barely aware how good they are. They could go to nationals. Like, come on, y'all. We could go to nationals. Right? Don't sleep on the field hockey team. And they're not really open to like the burning aspect because this is still their instrument. They're hoping that even as one of them completely cracks their stick in half over a werewolf's head and then uses the sharp end to stab him through the heart, like they still want to maintain their equipment. So you try, but nobody's really taking you up on it. But it just means that you now need to maybe stick close to your ex and maybe protect her because like the soccer team's doing a lot of in runs around people. They're kind of coming back to home base and then they'll go around and outrun the werewolves and do some fancy moves and kick him in the face with a ball and all of this jazz. Miss Wren, as you watch your young student kind of go off and figure out her own love life, maybe a little bit more perspective given everything that's happened, you hear from behind you, man, I love the way that just flames on. And you turn around and you see Smiley McSmileface standing behind you. Like, you can make my sword flame on anytime.
That's so bad that it's good.
Spoken like a true theater teacher.
And he looks at you. He looks at a werewolf that's bearing down on you, just like pointy teeth, looks back at you and goes, "Shall we?" Do you take him up on this offer?
No. Straight-faced bluff him and, like, get him to go use those muscles for once.
Okay. Give me roll 2.
Oh my god.
4
I
and a
got
2.
1, 2.
You got a 1 and a 2. And you kind of try and encourage him. You're like, oh, shoot, go. And he's like, oh, but ladies first, and I would hate to deprive you of any of the best werewolves, because you only deserve the best, Ren. And there is a werewolf, like, bearing down on you, is about to try and scratch your entrails out, maybe take your eyes, maybe bite you and turn you into a werewolf, you're not really sure. I don't think he's gonna protect you here.
Close to lighting on fire.
Lighting him on fire.
And
I'm
then
still very pro burn everything down and run.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there are small fires now being set around everywhere because this is truly like the last stand of the werewolves. They're here to destroy all of you. So Ren, there's now a werewolf on you. It tries to jump straight at you, claws first, and Smiley McDreamface is looking at you like, I can't wait to see what she does and how she handles this situation. He's clearly going to be of no help to you.
I want to use flammable 4.
Okay.
I want to set him on fire.
Okay. Give me a flammables 4 roll. Wow.
Okay, 6, 5, 1, 3.
I rolled 3 1s and a 2. So you did fine. You set him on fire. How do you do this? How do you make your displeasure known?
Well, I'm gonna whack him over the head with the hockey stick that's on fire.
Excellent. You whack him over the head with a hockey stick. Just boop. The anti-knighting and the cinders kind of flush off. They catch on his very expensive hair product, which is mostly alcohol at this point, and gel, and he just goes up like a flame. He's like, oh no, what? And he starts just like milling about, trying to put the fire out. He bumps into the werewolf and sets the werewolf on fire, who then is like, wait, no, what? And the werewolf's trying to get the fire off of him. And you just watch this chain reaction as the werewolf starts setting everything it comes in contact with on fire. He starts putting everything else on fire, and all of a sudden, y'all are trapped in an auditorium that is very on fire. What do? Smoke is starting to fill up everywhere.
Are there any, there's no, like smoke alarm related, sprinklers that go off? No?
They don't go off. They are there and they do exist, but they have not been set off.
They do not work. Okay.
Well, there should be fire extinguishers as well.
Oh, so do we have like a big like jug of like Gatorade or whatever for the athletes?
It's empty.
I
This is pure survival camp, like, that's been turned here, and now it's being overrun by werewolves, and now it's being overrun by fire. In fact, like, you can't go back the way you came anymore.
Yeah,
the fire has just eaten around all there, and you find what's left of your show choir team, what's left of the field hockey team, and what's left of the soccer team. All kind of...
Are there any doors that are able to be touched and there isn't fire behind them?
There are 2 doors on either side, one of which goes to the lockers and one of which goes to the coach's office. and there is the door that y'all first came in, that y'all escaped into your kind of hidey hole away from it, back behind you. And those are your only three options.
And behind us is on fire.
But, well, behind
right?
us, so the way that you came is on fire.
Is on fire.
If you keep going, I guess technically in front of you, because I was orienting you facing the fire. If you keep going, you'd essentially have done like a massive circle. At that point, you would end up back where you started, in that like kind of weird empty hall. To the left, where there's also a player's egress from the locker room down that hall, which is why they came through into the auditorium. But you can also get to the lockers through this door on the left directly from the gym.
Okay. Do the locker rooms have showers?
Yeah, they have all of the accoutrement of lockers. They have showers. They've got a small med.
Showers won't save us though, because the smoke will still get us.
Yes, well, the smoke is filling out, so you have to.
So we gotta get out. We gotta go.
I think we should, like, by our powers combine this, and you can give them the old razzle dazzle, and I can take the lead, and we can just like lead everyone out of the burning building in a dramatic exit kind of thing.
I agree. So, am I rolling a 3 or a 4?
You're giving them the razzle dazzle, or are you?
From Showtime.
So Showtime is 4.
Yeah, 4. Okay.
And then step in and take the lead as a 3.
Okay.
If that's what you're doing.
Yep. Okay.
Ugh.
Oh wow.
I rolled 19 total.
An 18. So Ren, you try and step up with Luna to sort of take the lead, but like everyone is very aware that the fire is your fault. And you were the reason that we cannot breathe, and that we are now very pressed for time, and like we might have been losing before the whole fire thing, but we're not exactly winning now. So your attempts. I mean, look, people always have problems. This is not your fault. Like, they didn't ask the right questions, clearly. So you do not step in to take the lead. You're kind of like forced to take the rear guard, in fact, and guess who's rear guarding with you? Hey, it's a good job.
What? I set him on fire. How is he still alive?
Because he looks at you, or he's slightly singed, and he goes, "This is very off book, and I did not sign up for this shit." He's no longer on fire. But he looks, he's the first time you've seen him not smiling, and he is just very displeased. And all of a sudden you hear, "Stick to the lines that were written, dear." And the lady with the clipboard is back, and she looks exactly like she did at first. And she is smiling very rigidly. And you notice, like, her teeth are a little pointy. This is very strange. Luna, you have showtimed everybody. Please describe how you've managed to showtime everybody.
So, since I'm a show choir kid, and since I have nothing left to lose at this point, I am rallying everyone through the powers of my vocal projection and telling them where to go, and also using my best, like, assistant stage manager of a community theater arms for like guiding traffic and like, you know, the 2-finger point or the flat blades a la Disney parks to get everyone where they need to go. And like, is my subtext the St. Crispin's Day speech? Yes, it is. No one needs to know that, but like, I am enough of a high school virgin where it's like, yes, that is the subtext. Yeah, at that point, I am just using just every bit of breathing from the diaphragm and committing to the bit possible to lead everyone to where they need to go, and using Ren as the caboose to corral everybody.
Usher all your ducklings to where you want them. So you're doing that. You're marching them towards the locker rooms. Is that right? Is that
Is
where
that
you wanted
right?
to go?
Yeah.
You basically had the locker
That was
room.
Ren's call. Ren, did you want us to go into the locker room?
No, I
Or
thought
was
we
that
were
when-
going away from the locker room because the locker room is like a dead end, right?
No, the locker room feeds out to. It has other egresses, including further down that hall where y'all started. You can go down out the door that brought you in the first place. That y'all both darted out at the very beginning.
Yeah,
the
we can.
coach's room to the right is a dead end. So
Yeah.
you basically your locker room or hallway.
So we're locker rooming, right?
So you're headed straight to the locker room with everyone, and finally the lady with the clipboard goes, "No, cut, cut, cut," and everyone around you sort of stutters to a stop. Like most of the people stop immediately when she says the first cut. The people who are like the field hockey captain sort of stutters to a stop at the second, and at the third, that's when your ex stops and freezes. And you and Ren are the only ones who are looking around like, what are we supposed to be doing? And Dreamy McSmileface, who is now not smiling, who is in fact looking very upset, and he looks at the lady and he goes, "This was not what you sold us. This was not fun. You said this was going to be fun and easy and a little bit weird, and it was all weird and not fun and not easy. And this one just doesn't like what about me is so deficient? Am I not beautiful?" And there's like a single manly tear that escapes from the corner of his eye, and it gleams, and you hear it go, bing. And he looks down at his physique and goes, "Are there not enough muscles?" And when you look, it seems like his shirt spontaneously just goes, and he just might as well not be wearing one. For all that is like a plain white shirt. Like, it's really between him and God. And he's just looking at you, so frustrated. "Just Red, just love me. Just love me." What is Ren's reaction to this?
Like the muscles are fine. It's just that I'm gay. Like that's not gonna work.
And he goes, "Ah," and then goes, "Pop," and bursts in a bunch of glitter. And all of a sudden you hear a tinkering laugh, and you look over to the woman with the clipboard, and she's no longer this like unapproachable Stepford person. She is just absolutely the most beautiful femme person you've ever seen in your life. Just like glowing. When she looks down, you think, oh, her ears seem a little bit pointed. And her features seem a little bit like elongated and a little bit sharper. And she does in fact have very sharp teeth. And she looks at you and she goes, "Darling, that's the best joke anyone's played on Oberon for centuries. I'm inclined to forgive you your collective lack of appreciation for tropes, given no one's made him spontaneously combust in at least 433 years, 6 months, 6 days, and 12 hours. Brava." And she leans over and she gives you a kiss on your cheek, and you get the smell of spring essentially wraps around you. And like, God damn it. All of these pretty people really just like all in your business. Luna, you have realized that you have been trapped in essentially like a meta changing channels sort of situation. And it's always customary for the hero of our story to work through their heartache with your ex. So Tatiana is going to give you the opportunity to try and amend all ends.
All right,
She
well,
sort of stands a little bit closer to Rin than is strictly necessary.
I'm gonna go all out. Can I do, I don't know if this is illegal. Can I do a Showtime and a climactic teen movie moment?
You absolutely can, because if there is any time where that should be absolutely possible.
Okay, so
It is now.
I'm gonna roll 4 for my Showtime. And I rolled 2 6s, a 1, and a 3. And
So I rolled 14 total. Oh, wait. Showtime 4. A 19 total for the house.
For the Showtime, I'm
I think we tied.
12 plus 4. I'm 16. 2 6s, a 1, and a 3.
Oh.
Yeah, that's 16. I did
Okay.
it.
And then what for your...
And then I'm was the teen movie 2?
Yes.
Okay, so a 1 and a 2.
So that's an 8. So, yeah, start giving your...
Well, I mean, if we're going full Titania and Oberon, and if I'm apologizing, and if this is the end, if we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that we have but slumbered here while these visions did appear. And this weak and idle theme, no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. Now to scape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, else the Pacoliar call. So, good night unto you all. Give me your
Tatiana.
hands, if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.
Tatiana does this. Bravo. He was terrible in the sack, though. And goes. And you suddenly find yourselves sitting outside, right where you started. Rin, most of your stash is gone. And you're very unclear, like, who smoked it or who took it, but, like, it definitely got used at some point. And you're kind of staring at each other, and the only thing that you have to really show for this strange journey that you went with is the perspective that you gained over the course of this. A decent amount of glitter, pretty much everywhere. And there's one piece of clothing that kind of carried with you, of some significance, that carried on with you for you, Rin. You have like a really, really pretty scarf, and when you smell it, you can smell spring, and it has a distinctly Tatiana list to it, so you maybe get the sense that, like, she's not done with you. Like, she really appreciates this trick that you played on Oberon, because you might have noticed, but he's kind of a dick and full of himself. And Luna, you kind of look up. You don't really know what to say to Rin. Rin doesn't really know what to say to you. And then all of a sudden the door opens and your ex steps through. She looks at both of you and she's kind of weirded out by the fact that you're sitting next to a teacher, and she's like really weirded out when she takes a breath and clearly smells the weed. And she goes, "Hey, so can we talk?" And Rin, what do you do as you see these two teenage romantic partners? Potentially, maybe romantic partners again, who knows? That may be for the epilogue. What do you do?
I was gonna just like bail and go home and get really high.
Great. Give me a roll to see if you like eloquently and quietly slip away into the night, or if you accidentally make a scene.
Since I'm going home to blaze it, Can I use one of my fire-related skills to get
I mean,
extra?
I'm pretty sure you can argue that this is a flammable situation. And you can choose to go the other way with the flammability. So give me a flammable 3 roll to see how much we torch this situation for Luna. Or if she could, like, maybe make some amends.
So I got 2 2s and a 1.
I got 10,
Oh, no.
10 total. Luna, can you give me a roll? Give me just roll 3. We'll see.
Okay, roll 3.
Where you land.
I rolled a 2, a 6, and a 5.
So yeah, Ren, you try and quietly kind of divest yourself of this awkward teenage situation that you sense is brewing, and it just does not work.
I crash and burn.
You literally, you crash and burn. You basically end up, you pick up your purse and you pick it up wrong, so everything just dumps out on the ground, including like the makings for some Molotov cocktails, like just embarrassing number of big lighters that you definitely didn't have on your person before this, but there they are. A whole bunch of sparklers. Those look like the rest of the fireworks from maybe the like cafeteria bros.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
Also, a wave of glitter comes out with it that you did not realize was there. And when this happens, you hear the faint tinkling laugh of a fairy who thinks this is a rather good joke. And so you kind of stare at them. Luna, you're staring at Ren like, we're good, but you need to leave.
Yeah.
Like, go on. Your ex is just kind of like bemused by this teacher. It is relatively certain that you are high as shit. But your moment and the possibility of it is not ruined. And Ren, when you actually get out into your car and you shut the door and you're like, fuck man, maybe I should reevaluate teaching.
Or driving a car in this state, truly.
Driving a car, I mean, after fairies, what's a car got on you? You do find, with a little pretty spring motif around the edges, the card for the dealer where you got that last stash that you're not necessarily convinced wasn't laced with something, but, you know, it's worth testing out the rest of the product. And the end. I don't know if you would like to tell us, Luna, whether or not you and your ex made up and where you left that.
Oh, I think we've got like a torrid 2 months left of our doomed to fail high school relationship.
Just dragging it out through the college years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I mean, been there, done that about the t-shirt. Yep, it'll it'll last. You know what? We won't be the JoJo Siwas of our school, but we'll make the most of our time. It'll be very Degrassi.
Amazing.
I was hoping that you were gonna go for like a love triangle kind of thing with the ex cheerleader captain.
Oh no, there's definitely a
energy.
throuple energy there, and there's definitely a lot of jealousy underpinning that particular storyline. So I mean, maybe that's how the relationship survives into adulthood, is they turn the throuple. They move beyond the high school binary.
Ludo's got to grow up a little bit more for that one.
For sure. The ex needs a name, like, eventually.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for playing with me. Hope you appreciated our 2-person romp through. I had so many more of those teen archetypes to go through, too. If you had made it to each room had its own.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I hope you appreciated our swing through Jackass, though. That in particular was very fun.
Oh my god.
Also, if you'd gone into the cafeteria, it would have been like full Jackass land. So, yes, thank you so much. Maddie, you want to tell us where we can find you?
Oh, yes. I am a member of Pop Culture Co-op. I will be starting a new show called Theater Games. We'll be bringing on different folks who work in different capacities, who all share a love of theater. And this isn't your mom's zip, zap, zap. And in other ways and places, you can find me on social media at Sound of Maddie on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. And you can find me in the Marie's Crisis Piano Bar's online space on Monday and Wednesday nights. I post content there if you're into silly comedy about theater or just actual singing.
Very cool. And Emily, where can we find you?
So I have I've named all of my social medias different things.
Love
Just
it.
like the most inconvenient thing for this sort of thing possible. So I am on Twitter as Smash the ST8. No punctuation there. I am on Instagram as Strange Ember. No punctuation. And yeah, I'll be doing a show on Wednesday, my regular Cinemarks, and I think this week is going to be Sorry to Bother You, and talking about like
That'll be fun.
the working class and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I haven't actually decided on what like angle I'm going to take exactly, so I've got to get onto that.
There are a lot of them. And I'm Alex, your GM. Thank you, and I'll see everyone in 2 weeks. Bye.